One of the biggest things I learned is that the women in Carrickville are never taught violin. So my great uncle has 3 daughters and my aunts, and because they're women, they didn't learn to play. So I was the first person he taught because he doesn't have any sons.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not expect to learn quite so much about how cables work and how to physically make everything work.
Yeah, I ended up learning a lot more about like physics and math than I thought I would.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, well, during like the mixing process, there's a lot of like compressing and equalizing and stuff, and understanding what that is takes a lot of knowledge about math and physics and stuff. So
I realized something huge that actually I think changed the way I see life in general. So I think I've accomplished quite a bit, I would say.
Terrific, thank you.
I would share the realization to you after you turn this off.
I learned that there are multiple sides to theater than just acting. I've done a lot of stuff on the Hopkins stage, but I wanted to try something new, something different, and I've learned that given the choice between writing for stage and acting on stage, it would be very difficult to do.
Yeah, definitely. I learned a lot about woodworking, a lot of stuff I definitely didn't know before. Just about, going out doing a project as well. It took way more time than I ever intended, way more difficult than I ever intended. But
was it worth doing?
Yeah, it was really rewarding. Really.
Did you have to learn any new skills to do this, or have you already been doing it?
I did. This is totally new for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything that you did not expect to learn?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it was.
Okay.
So I was scared, but it ended up being a really good thing, and so I'm going to continue.
Going in, I sort of expected to learn like how to be a facilitator, but came out learning that that's not actually possible to learn because sort of there's so many different styles and sort of all of them work equally well or differently well.
Yeah. Well, first, I've never done anything this intensive, like any projects that have spanned this long, particularly in London. And it was an interesting experiment in self-discipline. And it was also really interesting because I have never worked with anything this long and gone over the same story this many times. So it was really helpful in sort of being able to see an entire story as one thing rather than translating it like for a class.
I had to change my methods a lot as I was out on the trails, and then came back to the computer and had to reassess my results.
I did not expect to learn about how the hospital actually functions.
I learned new tricks, got to make trapeze academic, and learned how to make a video.
Mostly, I guess I learned that changing something once I've built it or once I have it is a lot harder than it seems.
Maybe the fact that you can live with a lot of different deficiencies and ruptures and different little things that could be wrong in your lungs, your GI tract, different things like that, and you can still live with that. It was very cool to know that you could like live with a hole in your liver or things like that. I mean, I didn't know that.
Architecture is extremely difficult, and there are so many little teeny nitpicky bits in a building that you never would think about that are crucial to it as like working, even to inhabit. It's ridiculous.
So, relationship building between networking between organizations.
Yeah, a lot of between advertisers and between other radio stations, and most importantly the listeners and the communities. And that I learned to clean while you go, definitely a big thing. And just be very adventurous. It's the best thing.
Terrific.
Try the chasing. So I got it to work twice.
And a lot of the calculations I did initially were based on this kind of concept that everything was going to be ideal, but I soon found out that was not the case, and I was able to tweak my experiments to kind of deal with that.
I learned how hard it is debugging and just different ways of doing that, and I learned a lot about how to do graphics, which I didn't expect to do when I first started.
end result, we transferred it onto the computer, and we can flip through. And some of the drawings are simplified to make it go faster. But these are basically just all the electronic files of all these pictures played out, so you can see it move.
And so when you did all that drawing, all those 15, 30-minute drawings all added up, and you see them all here, and it all goes by so fast. Does it seem worthwhile?
Definitely. I mean, I'm glad that I finished it so you can see the whole movement. And I like how some of the drawings are really detailed, but you know, you could keep working and fill it in and do more detail.
What you have is the line is creating the load on the rod. So as I pull this back, the tip bends and it springs the line all the way back, gives it velocity, and allows it to go out.